People traditionally prepare for retirement by usually going through their budget, looking at their expenses, then ultimately figuring out what they have invested currently, and most of the time they're usually very stressed out about retirement. It's this thing that is almost like it can't happen out there because they don't feel like they've done enough planning. There's a big misconception out there that if you have a lot of assets or if you have a big amount of money, that ultimately that is income. But when you have retirement, it's income focused, not so much asset focused. And then again, being able to have a budget and to live within your means, not outside of your means. Some common misconceptions about retirement are that they will not have enough money, that there's no way I can retire, I feel like I'm going to run out of money, and that they do have to have this big nest egg, this big amount of money. All these things, again, we will be able to walk people through and kind of debunk these myths, because people actually do have enough money to retire if it's done properly. Retirement has become so stressful, again, with the amount of information that's out there on the internet and social media, that retirement is no longer this fun thing. So as much fun as we can try and make this to help people create ways to spend their retirement, whether it's vacationing or whatever they enjoy doing, that is truly what our goal is as a firm. We typically plan on retirement lasting 30 plus years for clients. We will run scenarios to age 100 for each client, just because we want to make sure that no matter what happens, clients are not running out of income. This day and age, typically retirement will last somewhere in the 30 plus range if someone's retiring a little bit early. So there are 5 main areas of retirement planning, starting off with the first one, which is protection. Protection, we take a look at all of your insurances. So insurances that are life insurance, disability insurance, any type of long-term care that you may or may not have, to ensure that no matter what happens, that your loved ones and yourself are protected for the unforeseen things that happen. The next area of retirement planning would be estate planning. This takes a look at your current wills, trusts, any type of estate plans that have been established, and making sure that all of those things are current and up to date. Also ensuring that no matter what happens, your assets are passed on to your loved ones in the fashion that you would like. Whether it's through a trust, it's updating wills, it's making sure that your children are taken care of, all those things are looked at. The next step in the planning process is retirement planning. Sitting down and actually formulating a plan of what you want to do in retirement, the fun things that you'd like to do. Do you want to travel? Do you want to go see kids? Whatever happens, whatever you'd like to do throughout that planning process, it's coming up with that plan, looking at all of the sources of income that you have coming in, and then maybe bridging that gap with investments and talking about budget and income. The next step in the planning process is investment planning, looking at your current investments, where they're located, and talking about risk and control. We need to make sure that you're taking the appropriate amount of risk based on your goals. And in investment planning, we can structure things differently to make sure that you do have guaranteed accounts and you do have some accounts that are in with the market, and making sure that you and all of us can work together and figure out what your end goals are and make sure that you can meet them. The last step of the planning process is tax planning. This step is probably one of the most important pieces to the puzzle, as when you are retiring and getting ready to retire, when you take money from plans, most of the time this money is taxable. So coming up with a strategy to try and figure out when to take it and how much to take is a very important part of planning. So the important birthdays leading up to retirement, the very first one would be age 50, at which time you can put additional catch-up provisions, is what they call it, into your retirement plans. You can typically invest anywhere from a few thousand to even more than that into plans where prior to that you cannot do that. The next age would be age 55, where it's important because you can separate from service. If people want to retire early, you can actually retire and use your money prior to age 59 and a half and take it out without being penalized from the IRS. That leads up to the next one, which is age 59 and a half, which is the most common known age which you can take money from your retirement plan and not pay a penalty from the IRS. That's important because, again, if people want to retire early and we need to draw assets, we can now start taking money out of those accounts and not paying the IRS penalty. The final age that is a factor in retirement is age 70 and a half. At age 70 and a half, the IRS will start forcing money out of retirement plans based on your age, and it will continue on for the rest of your life. There's a small percent, usually it's about 3.5% your first year, and it will continue to grow the older you get, where it will force money out of your plans whether you want to or not. And they do this because of tax dollars. The money that has been in retirement plans a lot of times has never seen tax, so that's the main reason that they do have the required minimum distribution, is what they call it, at age 70 and a half. Today we went through the key indicators of whether or not you're ready for retirement. Regardless of where you land on that scale, you've taken a major step moving forward in your retirement process. In the next video, we'll go over what you should consider in preparing for retirement. I'd also like to encourage you to schedule a time to talk to someone at our office about your financial future. Please use the link below to book your appointment.